What's up, YouTube? JT here, Teal's Garage. And I done a little work off camera. Show you where I'm at and what we got going on. So, if you remember in previous, I think I show that somebody had kind of put like a slip-on rocker on this thing and did a really bad job and yada yada. So I cut all the garbage off and straightened everything all out, and now I have, if I can remember where I have my piece, but the car, oh, I forgot, I painted the back side of it, so that's drying, so I can't at the moment show you how good that's fitting. As good as it's gonna work for having what I have here in the house without waiting on parts, but I got it to fit pretty decent. I got the panels are going to overlay a little bit, which whatever, that's why I'm painting. I'm actually going to tape this off and probably paint this edge because I have to, because I think that's what I'm getting at. I think that's a slip-on rocker and it don't fit right. I actually had to flatten out one of the body lines, and like I said in previous video, this is my homemade brake. It's just a bunch of angle iron, some hinges, some threaded rod, and I made it so it bolts to my bench, and then I can remove it after. And then what I do, depending on how big the piece is, I take a piece of angle and I just sharpen the edge with a dolly, and yeah, so that's that. This works okay, but for what I should have only made it from here to there, and instead of 4 feet, should have made it like 2 feet. But like I said, from here to where my handle is, that's how big I should have made it for stuff. But I was thinking, oh, 4 feet, that's, you know, almost the length of a rocker or a little longer, and I could make my own rockers here if I wanted to. And yeah, so what I need to do is make another little stand and get a long piece of angle iron and just try to clean it up, because I will say with this having a little bit of rust and stuff, it does put little imperfections in your metal, but hey, that's what they make body filler for. So or just find something that's like stainless steel that's thick with a hard edge on it like that, so you could use it to sharpen up your edges. And what I mean by sharpen up your edges is I did this in that brake and it was not that tight, so then I put it in an angle and hammer dollied it. And I was gonna say, this is kind of a bad piece, but I don't know if you can see how round that is right there, and then how much more of a point, try to get you how much more of a point that is. That's the difference. This piece, I just left the rolled edge that it gave from the piece of angle iron. I guess I could show you a better what I'm talking about right here on this angle. So with the way my brake is made, I didn't do nothing with this edge. So when you bend the metal, it's got a round edge instead of a nice tight edge. So what I do is I clamp the piece in after and put it in here, and then I just, you know, hammer dolly it. In theory is what you're doing, and it just crisps that edge up. Now, if we were making a rocker, see, this isn't a hard edge, and this isn't a hard edge, so that's why I made that brake the way I did, is so it would do softer edges for making like rockers at home, or making nice patch panels. Sure, you could achieve the same thing with a like a store-bought Harbor Freight deal or a fancy expensive one, but that I had the angle, and I actually had everything here in stock. So I got bored one day and built one. So that's why I have that. Move on to the next thing. Yeah. I should have saved that for camera, but yeah, cut it out. We're started forming a new panel for it, but this disaster was in there. So I just cut it back to what I thought was good metal. I haven't been a very good guesser with that lately, but I think I got it to a decent point. Now, I have to do a little bit more welding down there because there's some pinholes still. But quarters all in, welded, besides the very last little tail piece. I even brought it out just a hair to match up with my other one. I don't know if you can pick that up or see it, but it just looks nice and uniform all the way down. And I also think, I don't remember, but I'll just touch base again. But I can't remember if I told you guys I did make that piece, and that's all welded in there also. So a little bit of a gap, could have went taller, but it's got a quarter support. So, and then the other thing I did that is new is filled in the top of the wheel well. That's all done. All these holes down through here, I don't remember if I showed that, but that's all done. There was some pinholes here. That's all done. There was a little pinhole here and some pinholes there. They're all filled in. So now we're almost on the home stretch. I gotta wait for that paint to dry. It's not paint, it's that rust stuff that I showed you guys. I'll show you on the back of that quarter panel. But that stuff is what I've been spraying in between my panels, and it hasn't been lighting on fire. I also been using the self-etching when I need to use the self-etching, but yeah, I gotta clean some of the little hairs off from where I burned through, but yeah, like I said, held up pretty good. Gonna seam seal and retouch that up, and I'm pretty happy with it. So my next endeavor is, so this is what it'll look like when I have my panel ready. You know, bare steel on this side. It's painted with that stuff on this side. And this little guy is getting put right in here. So it's not getting no special treatment. It just needs to be something more solid, less pinholes, and I'm just gonna cover it right up. I think I'm gonna spray some of that rust stuff there after I grind it, except for where I need to weld, obviously. But I made a little piece for there. I made a little piece. I haven't done nothing with it yet, but this is what it starts with after you cut it out. But this is for the left side. And yeah, so I gotta build this wheel lip. That's another reason why I'm putting that little piece in, is because when I get down there, I'm gonna need something decent to weld to. Put that patch in. Sorry for the glare on my door, but we're gonna put that patch in. Put the other little patch in this way. Connect the wheel arch back. The inner tub is what I should be calling it, but you get what I mean. And then get that rocker burned in. There's one little hole right off the edge of my fingertip that needs addressed. And passenger side, other than a little grinding that you can't see that I just want to do, just to do like some a little bit up in that inner wheel tub and some underneath. Before I put seam sealer on it, I got to do a little grinding there, so I'll have another day or so of grinding. I will say I've done a lot more grinding than welding and anything else. I've had my fair share of grinding lately. So yeah, and in the future you can look forward to I think I can say a nice little surprise, because I've been working on this without filming on and off. Because remember guys, I only do this when I have time after work. So it may be 1 hour a day or it may be 5 hours a day. And then weekends, same difference. It may be a whole day on a Saturday and Sunday. It may be just a Saturday or it may just be a Sunday. But when this video comes out, it'd be about, I don't know, week and a half that I've been working on this on and off. So you guys that think you can't do nothing after work because of this, that, and the third, if you make the time and spend at least an hour, hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours, you can plug away at your car, you know. If you shrunk down everything you guys have seen till now, and once you get to this part of the videos, I've only been working on it for like a month. So if you actually consolidate the time down to, if you could spend 40 hours on it, I probably only got a week and a half in this car. But life, day job, I got my daughter, wife, you know, so I just spend here, there time on it. So if you figure what I've done thus far, pretty good, I think, in a month. I'm hoping to have, by this weekend, the rocker done, that quarter done, so the whole passenger side will be done and ready for primer and filler. And I'm hoping to knock out the other side this weekend, but we'll see how things go. Because I got poking and prodding on this side. I also cut the quarter panel piece out that I'm going to use. I just got to get a curve in it and start mocking it up. But looks like I'm going to have to do a little bit of love to the wheel tub on this side. Or not wheel tub, the trunk pan extension. It really needs, I don't think I got you guys in a shot at all, but it really needs one put in it, and I'm not waiting for one. So I'll just make one, have my buddy bead roll some bead rolls into it and go from there. But anyway, enough jawing on that, and I'll get back to work and see you guys when I don't know, maybe I got some stuff welded in, but I'll see you then. What's up, folks? I'm back. It's a new day. It's actually been a couple days since the last time I recorded, but I said I had a surprise for you guys, I believe, and I'll show you where I'm at. I got the rocker capped in. It just needs to be finish welded, so I'll show you what I got going on. I made that piece also. It was what was left of that other rocker. Like I said, they had like a slip-on deal going on, and had some burn through again. I should have cut that out further back, but learn from what I do. Don't do as I do. Just, you know, you think you need to go further back, just go further back. But this piece was only so long, so I without having to try to make a bunch of stuff, try to save a little time. But found a little whammo right here in the door jamb. I ground all the filler out. I think this car's been hit, and I'm not positive, but I think this car's been hit. And we haven't got to the doors yet, but I'll let you know a little secret. But both doors on the car are not yellow, and they should be yellow, obviously, because the car is yellow. If I'm not mistaken, the driver's side door is white, and this door is the chestnut brown, and then they rattle canned yellow over them. But right here with the hinges bolt on, that part of the door as it's closed, you know, that little inner piece, you could see the body paint on both doors. And I think this car, one reason why it was so beat up down this side is it got hit. And then, like I said before in a prior video, that rear frame rail had a little pucker to it, but I got it to straighten out, and didn't really seem like anything else was damaged on the car. So I think this thing may have gotten a little fender bender, maybe hit there, spun around, and then the back got tapped. I don't know. I'm just speculating. Like I said, I have zero history on this car, but yeah. So we're capped in on the frame rail, or not frame rail, but we're capped in on the rocker. I just have to finish doing that, and then the last thing that I have to do that I'm going to try to get done tonight is that spot right there on the quarter. And then, just to give you guys a little refresher, then we just have to tackle this side. We just have to put, like I said, I already cut the panel there. Got to make a little piece for right here. I already have a little piece made for that hole. And then that piece I just showed you is going to go where it's routed right there. And then we can start, you know, put some primer down, do some body work, get stuff seam sealed that needs to be seam sealed, and go from there. So it's coming along slow. This past weekend was Easter, so I wasn't able to work on the car as much as I wanted to. And then also on Saturday that has just passed, I picked up something, so we'll go out and take a look at it, because I told you I had a surprise. So as you guys know, I was looking for parts for this car, and well, it's no beauty, but they're starting to multiply around here. So little nice cheater trick for you guys if you don't know, but take a barrel and cut it in half the long ways, and then just cut the ends off, and then you can see that one. The idea, it works a lot better when the tires are aired up, but if the brakes are all locked up, or you know, the tires are coming off, you just set them under there and slide it onto the trailer. But this car has decent trim for around the windows. It also, because it was a vinyl top car, has that trim. So let me know if you guys want this trim, because I'll never use it. I'll use the stuff around the windows, but yeah. But the Roadrunner we're working on, I don't have door locks. This car has door locks. I don't have a trunk lock. This car has the trunk lock with the key in it, and it works. Needs to be sprayed up a little better, but just to go to show how rough cars are here where I live and why they're hard to come by. But most of the time they're always like this, and that's why I joke in the one video, I don't remember which one it is, but I'm not used to seeing floors, and this is normally, a lot of guys in my area don't build cars because you got to start with stuff like this, and a lot of guys aren't willing to do that much work. And another plus, look at this deck lid. Get you in the frame, but there's just a little bit here on this edge, which I'm just going to hammer dolly and then seam seal it, treat it. But this deck lid's going on the car. It's also got rear defrost. I may do something with that, but that's another little nice tidbit. And I hate to say it, but this lower valance is on the edges nicer shaped than mine, except for here. So I don't know, we might be fixing that as best we can, because I really do feel like this one's in better shape than mine, even though it's got a big old whammo in it. And then I wish this piece was in better shape. It's a little rotted on the edge, but the rest of it, I think I'm going to cut it out. Alright, I hit the power button on accident. So go back to what I was saying. I think I'm going to cut this. Cut this here, cut it down through here, and then take this whole piece right out all the way across, and then we'll just build a new piece for right here. But I mean, maybe we'll look at this one a little better. If it isn't too scaly, maybe we can clean it up and put a few little patches in it. But this by far is rotted. As this car is, this is in better shape than my car. That's why I say that yellow car is really rotted funny. This one, as you can barely see, I'll get a better shot. But this car's an 8 1/4 car, not the 8 3/4. You can tell because that diff cover, I don't know if you can see the bolts in it, but it has a removable diff cover. That's the difference. One has a third member, this one has a normal diff cover. I can't open the doors because I hit the fenders, because it's, like I said, this car is in pretty bad shape. But I'll try to sneak you in here, but it doesn't really, I don't know if that helps. But bench seats, not terrible, it's not the best. Dash is other than the pad, it's got a nice dash in it. I even feel like the headliner's decent in this car. I could be wrong, I gotta double check. But 318 and nice header panel. It has a nice bumper. It has a nice lower valance. A little smack there, but nothing crazy. If I wanted to put the AC back in the yellow car, this has all the AC stuff. Extra hood hinges, my actual correct wiper arms, and it has the under hood wiring harness that I need. So this thing has a lot of great parts that I'm gonna use. So I don't know about tonight. I might film cutting this thing up a little bit. I'm not too sure if I'm gonna mess with it tonight or start working on it maybe tomorrow. But I might do a little bit of filming of cannibalizing this old girl. It's got the factory 15x7 steel wheels that take poverty caps. We might do something with them since I have them now. I have other Steelies, but these ones are cool because they'd be period correct for the car. Maybe paint them black. I got poverty caps. But I bought the car mostly for that header panel, the lower valance, and the deck lid, and the engine wiring harness is kind of what I was wanting to pull off this thing more than anything. And when I originally went to I shouldn't say get the car, I should have said get parts off from this car. The end bolts that go to the fender, I'll show you again, but there's bolts right behind here, and they are a bastard to get to. So now that I own it, I can get to them any way I want to, which may be cutting the ends of the fenders off or something, I don't know. Now that it's home and I can take my time with it, because I didn't realize there's a splash shield there either. So that's handy. I'll have that now, because my car didn't have that factory splash shield. So maybe we can rust treat it, paint it, and put it on. So I just want you guys to know, not everything is junk. Even though it is physically junk, it's not a builder. I mean, if somebody really wanted to put a whole lot of time and money into it, they probably could save this car, but it ain't worth it. So we're gonna just cannibalize it for what I need and have more parts for the yellow car. And I really wish I could open this thing up. Maybe I'll do that once we get more involved with it. I'll open it up more. Oh, I almost forgot the best touch of the whole thing. Came with another power bulge hood. So we got an extra hood for the car now. This one's a little rotten here, but what I would probably do is just grind this down and see if we couldn't just tack some weld into it and just build it up a little bit, grind it back down, and just treat it. I hate cutting, and I shouldn't say I hate cutting. If you cut this out, you could weld a piece in, but if you had to do any filler work, the heat from the engine cracks and breaks body filler. So I don't like to put body filler on hoods if I don't have to. Maybe small amounts is okay, but I've never seen where somebody's been able to put, I shouldn't say like a massive amount of body filler on a hood and not have it crack, but eventually after the hot cold, hot cold, hot cold, and then opening and shutting the hood, it just cracks and fails. So I'm not too into that. So scatterbrain again, but this car has disc brakes on it, so there's an extra set of disc brakes for something else, and maybe in the future. Not saying there is anything in the future. I mean, I did give a hint to the one car. I didn't say what it is yet, and you guys will find out eventually, but we could always throw them disc brakes on that other car. So like I said, just show you guys. I didn't give I don't know, I paid a lot but didn't pay a lot for this car. I don't know, curious what you guys think I paid for this. So if you want, put down in the comments what you think I may have paid for this car, and just curious to see what something like this is worth in the world, because I don't think I'm into it half bad for the parts, considering it does have automatic tranny in it. It's got, like I said, the 318 2-barrel AC parts, all the glass, door panels and stuff are missing, but what are you gonna do? But like I said, leave a comment what you think I paid for it. Leave a comment if you want this trim for the roof, for the vinyl top, because I'll probably end up listing it for sale. But yeah, get back with you guys when I actually do something with it, and I'll finish up that rocker and we'll get back with you. There it is, all welded in. It don't look pretty, never is, and like I say, and I always will say, I am not a fabricator. I'm not a professional welder. I just got the fundamentals. So it may not be as pretty as your tack welds, but they work, they'll hold, and they'll be more than good enough to grind. The only thing I don't know what I'm gonna do is with that. I think I showed this already, but I'll show it again. But from here to there was full of Bondo. I have a stud gun, and I may try to pull it. And then if I can get it to pull out to where it's supposed to be, I'll just stitch that up as best I can, and just have to slick it. I'm not cutting into the door jamb and messing with all that. Should it be? Yes. For the time, like I said, I don't want to have a timeline on this car because I don't want to feel like I'm rushing it. But the time that I would like to be able to drive this car, I don't got the time to mess with that when I still got a half a day and messing with that, and I still have the whole driver's side to do. And summer's coming, and I would like to drive this summer. So no specific date, just I would like to be able to catch at least a few weeks of the summer driving this car before I can't drive it. So like I said, I may try stud gunning that, or the worst thing, I mean, that is too thick just to fill it. That's why I ground it all out, because it was all cracked. But I'll try to pull that as best I can, stitch it. Like I said, I really don't want to get into putting a piece in there, but push comes to shove. If I really got to, I will. But I think I might be able to put a few studs on there with the stud gun, pull the majority of it out, and then get all this ground and get that stitched up, get the rear quarter finalized so that we can get onto the other side, because I'm a little behind on time frame. Like I said, I choose bad words, but on time frame where I would like to be at, I'm a little behind. I'm like probably a week behind, but life and things, that's why I'm not putting a a Pacific or Suspific, whatever, you get what it is. I'm not being no English teacher, but never claimed to be a very smart man. But the time period thing, like I said, if it doesn't get done this year, it doesn't get done this year. It will break my heart a little bit, but does it matter? No. But I do have to get the car to a state where it could sit outside if need be, because I do have to work on one of my other trucks. I got to work on my Cummins. I got to do oil change and some other stuff. I've been putting it off because I figured I'd be at a state where everything would be kind of done and at least primered so it could get shoved outside, and then I could bring my Cummins in, work on it for a weekend, and I may do a little bit of video on that. That's just what I need to do to it. I don't know if you guys will like that video or not, but I do have to get this to a point though where I can put the tires back on it and at least make it go outside so I can use my shop for other stuff, because it ain't quite big enough to do everything I want to do. So, but if I can get it decent and get it in primer, at least the bare metal is what I mean by getting it in primer. So if it sits outside and it rains on me, excuse me, rains or something, it isn't flash rusting my metal and all the work that I've done. So what I'm thinking, as soon as that quarter panel is done, I'll DA the whole quarter down and at least get that in primer, and do the rocker and up into the door jamb, get that all in primer. I started removing the rubber seal. I gotta pop the door or the inner panels out to get the quarter glass out, and yeah, then I'll be able to final, sand and get everything in primer and all that fun what you have it. So yeah, that's where we're at. Rocker's done. Just got to do a little fine detail to the door jamb, I guess you could say. Is it going to be filled? Yes. Is it going to be as filled as much as it was? No. And all this ugly, is it going to match the driver's side? No. But the door opens. And I mean, how many people really look at the rocker? So the door hides most of it. I do have to get a door and put it on just to make sure everything that I've done is right, and hopefully it is. I kind of took a gamble doing that. I should have left the door on this side, or at least left it in the garage, shop, whatever you want to call it, so I could test fit. But that is all in the perimeters, is all built off of that. And like I said, I've used my straight edge a bunch and it all flows the way it is. Worst case, the filler going down the rocker may be, I'm not going to say it's going to be a ½ inch, but it may be right on the cusp of maximum thickness. I don't want that. I just want to put a light skim on there and block it all out and call it good. We'll see how that goes. And like I said, I'm no professional. I did auto body in high school, and I'm just doing what I remember. And there's some things I've forgotten about that I've had to go and watch other YouTube videos and read up on just to refresh the memory bank a little bit. And I do know the biggest thing with a lot of rust repair is a lot of people don't coat stuff on the backside, whether they paint it because they're afraid it's going to catch fire or whatever. But more than likely, I've said this before, but the lower quarters and the rockers, at some point, I think I'm going to fluid film them. So that'll help save them for a longevity aspect. But is that going to fall apart? I don't think it's going to fall apart in 5 years. I don't think it'll fall apart in 10 years. But 20 years from now, everything I've done will probably rot out again. you got to figure this car's knocking on the door of 50 years old. Well, actually, I think it is 50 years old. Figure yeah, it's 73. It's got to be close to 50. I'm not no mathematician, but pretty sure it's knocking on the door, if not is 50. So, yeah, so all the stuff that Chrysler did factory, making this cheap beer can, everything I'd done should last a lot longer than what they did. And considering this car is in exceptionally good shape for where I live and what it is, and yeah, so we'll just continue away, and I may have to, on this edge right here, I may have to hammer dolly that a little bit more to shape it, but a little bit of filler. But I mean, if you look at that edge, I mean, I'm not saying it's dead nuts on, but by eye engineering, it's not too far off of that one. So I think we're good. And the only thing is, on the passenger side, you're not going to see this defined deal, but a sill panel sits right here, so that'll help. Or sill plate, apologize, but it's just a piece of trim. It sits over this. It gets screwed into these screw holes, and that's another reason why I pretty much built this side to continue what is there, because I have the two holes still there, and that's another reason why I was trying not to cut any further back so that I could retain them little holes. So when I put my sill plate in on this side, I'll at least have those two holes to start with, and I can drill up here the other two holes to put my screws into. So, but you figure the carpet and then the sill plate, some body work with some filler, a little bit of Duraglass, and then some regular body filler, maybe some icing, but I like using that high build. That high build really fills in little imperfections pretty good. So, and when you see what I paint the car with, try not to give away too much of that, but when you see what I paint the car with, I'm not putting an expensive paint job. It's probably going to be one of the cheapest paint jobs in the world on this car. So we're just looking for that, 30-30. Looks good from 30 feet away going 30 miles an hour. No, I mean, I want it to look a little nicer than that, but I don't, as trying to remember who says it. I think it's Derek from Vice Grip. If you don't set your expectations high, then you don't have to worry about them being that high of a result. And sometimes you get a better result than you were expecting. So we keep the expectation low, be pretty good. So, and already, I mean, that quarter panel looks beautiful, and you got this little bit of the sunlight, but I mean, it's a little wavy, but a little more hammer dolly work and a little bit of filler, a little skim coat. Most of that waviness will be gone. And yeah, and the beauty about this car is it's got a lot of curve. If it was more straight, hard edges and flat, that's you really got to be on point with stuff. But this car has such a curve to it, you can kind of trick the average eye and float things and make things look good. Because whether you guys want to realize it or not, at the end of the day, especially with body shops, and you might as well say that my teacher was a very good teacher in high school, but you're just making a optical illusion that it's perfect. I don't know how else to explain it better than that, but a lot of stuff is never perfect. This car was never perfect from factory. So if we can get close enough, that's a win. So hang in there. I'm going to get this ground and maybe get that started getting some tack Can't speak today, jeepers. Start getting that panel tacked in down there. But I'm not going to start that until that's all ground and ready and done. I probably got, I don't know, at least a half hour to an hour grinding there. I know it don't look all like it is, but once you get going, next thing you know, the time blows by and it's time to go in and get ready for tomorrow. So, yeah. But it's coming along. Hope you guys have been enjoying the videos. And before you know it, we'll be putting engine transmission in this thing and driving it around. Maybe catch a few car shows with it, whatever. But yeah, sorry to be jaw-jacking so much. Yeah. And also in this video, you might see well, I showed bits of that green car, but I don't know if in this video you're gonna see me strip that apart or if I'm gonna just make it its own deal. So if you get a glimpse of that car in this video and then you see another video of it, it's because I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I shoot everything from the hip. Nothing is scripted, nothing is set in stone. I just, like I told you guys from the very beginning, gonna film what I want, when I want, how I want, and however it falls together is how it falls together. I just hope you guys just like the content. So I'm gonna leave you there. I'm gonna stop rambling on. I like to ramble. So we'll leave it there. The air compressor said I talk too much, so we'll see you when I come back with you. Alright folks, I'm back. I didn't pull the door jamb out yet, but you can think what you want of it. This is where I'm leaving the grinding for, oh, let me get you. Sorry for just staring at my beard, but this is all I'm gonna do for grinding. The rest of it I'm just gonna prime and body fill over top of, and it's pretty smooth. It could be better. Like I said, I'm not no you know, professional fabricator or anything, or metal finisher, but I use this a lot too. So if you guys don't use one, you should. I know them old timers don't, but I tell you, it really helps. But yeah, not bad. Not bad on the sides. Once it's all slicked with filler and all that, and the underside is as flat as I can get it, I'll give that a little coating also. So like I said, I just gotta do something with this, and we just gotta fill this hole in and make the wheel arch, and this side's done. So I don't know, maybe middle of the week this week I can have it buttoned up. I got one little pinhole right there that I might try to just lightly tack weld and try to get the fill in. If not, I'll have to cut a little piece, or I've been playing around with JB Weld on this thing, and I did a few pinholes in the trunk area that I'm not getting into, so I figured before it gets filled with filler, I just filled the back side of it with some JB Weld. And the reason why I did that is JB Weld isn't porous as far as I know, so I'm trying to look for the spots that I did. That's how well this stuff blends in. Right in here. Like, honestly, you don't even, it just looks like old shitty paint. But I got a little bit of JB in there, a little bit in right here, and I put some tape on the backside and just took a Bondo spreader and spread a little JB Weld in there. And now when I sand it, I mean, what's the difference between that and body filler? And then, because I don't have a way to make this curve, and I didn't have or even know about the green car parts car yet. So I put a little bit of filler in here, which, don't get me wrong, could have cut it out and half-assed it, but you're still putting filler in it. So I just hogged out all the garbage that they had, because it was packed right full of Bondo. I put rust treatment in there, and then I put some JB Weld right there. And now I'm going to slick over it with some Duraglass and top coat it with regular filler. After the Duraglass is sanded, just a little slight slick with the regular body filler, just to, you know, float it, whatever it needs. And then right here was a couple little pinholes. But yeah, it's not, as far as I know, this stuff doesn't absorb water. And that's the biggest problem with Bondo from the backside if you don't seal it, or like if you just put Bondo over this and then don't do nothing to the backside of it, it'll draw moisture into it and then it cracks, rots, and then fails. So as long as you can keep the moisture out of it, it should be fine. So this car, I've been doing little spots to see in the long run how well that little trick holds up. If it'll speed, you know, something that's not too structural, but you know, like something like that. The bumper hides it. I'm not, you know, it's how far you want to nitpick it. I'm not restoring this car. So if I can cheat like that, I'm going to. And some people might like it, some people might not like it, but I'm going to try it. And guess what? If it fails, it fails. And I'll know not to ever try it again. But how do I say it? How you ever going to know about good tips, tricks, or learn something new if you don't try to experiment on your own, you know? People are too scared to try something new. And I'm always willing to try and add to the arsenal of ideas. So, yeah. But anyway, that's where I'm going to leave you for right now. This whole video will be ended when that is all done and the wheel arch is done and it's ready for primer. We'll probably end it there, or maybe I'll put it in primer and end it there. But yeah, so I'll catch up with you guys when the front part of the lower quarter is all patched in, or at least starting to get there and showing you the steps. But see you then. We don't have a big hole no more. And we got a wheel lip. Try to get that, but that's flat right down through there, and then it's flat right up through there. It's not perfect, and it is what it is. I think it's pretty good for making it at home. And then we got this side, and I was playing around with, like I mentioned, a little bit of JB Weld just to fill in some pinholes. Because I won't lie, there is some spots where I didn't want to try to keep tacking it, because the metal's super thin and you go to tack it and it just blows a hole. So my thought with the JB Weld to fill in pinholes is I'll put that on the bare steel, since it's supposed to be used on bare steel anyway, as far as I know. I've never really read the instructions, but I always thought it was supposed to be on bare steel. And you guys might think it's a hacky, cobby thing, which is fine. It's whatever. Maybe it is, but like I said, I'm trying this out for my own personal experiences to see if it'll work or not work. But that stuff is not supposed to draw in moisture. So it's supposed to make a good chemical bond, and it's sealed, and it's sandable on the one side. So my idea is I'm going to apply it to some spots where I think it needs to be, just to fill in a pinhole or two, just to help make the actual body filler last longer, because high build primer will only fill in so much, and then it's not going to fill. It's not like, you know, body filler. It's just a, you know, it's a paint. So what I'm thinking is the JB Weld, sand it all back smooth so that it's just filled into the hole, and make sure it's not going to break out easily. And I'll take a screwdriver or something and just try pushing on it. And if it holds good, then I'll prime the whole thing. We'll slick it all up, because the quarter panel is ready for body filler now. and try it. I mean, what's the worst that happens? It fails, and I have to sand it down and do it again. I mean, I won't have to do the metal work because the metal work's good, but I'll have to just go back and try to fill in pinholes if push comes to shove. But I'm really thinking that might be a slick little cheater trick. Now, like I said in the very beginning, if I could have bought quarter panels for this car, I would have bought quarter panels. This has been a pile of work. It's not correct. The wheel arch is good enough for the average Joe, but I do have a feeling where I made the wheel lips, they're not factory. You know, they're going to be good enough, but if you really look at this side, you can kind of get an idea of it's not exact. But I have to fix this part on this side, and there's a pinhole there that I might cut this up to and piece it in, and then this side has to come all the way up to the same exact spot as the other side. So on this car, fortunately, having to do that, both sides will aesthetically, I guess would be the right word, be the same. You know, it'll look kind of right. But the beauty about cars is you can't look at both sides at the same time. You can only look at the front and the rear at the same time. Well, I said that wrong. If you look at the whole rear, you can see that whole thing at once. So you want it to be straight and decent. But same thing with the front. You can see the whole front, so you want it to be straight and decent. But you can only see one side at a time. So if we can make the driver's side look half as good as this side, or better, or, well, I'd like them to be as close to as same as possible. So it's going to be a lot of by-eye engineering on that. But yeah, I'm very pleased with the way that came out. I don't know how good it looks on camera, but yeah. But I'll get you in a little closer. Now I will say I did cheat a little bit. But like, there's a little, that's just a bad weld that ground out, but it'll fill in. And there's supposed to be like a raised lip here. It didn't really work out in that favor. It kind of smoothened this side of the car out, which I'm hoping I can, to a slight degree. I'm not going crazy with the filler, but I'm hoping I can build this out a little bit. There's a little bit of a low spot right here, but it's a little high here, a little low here. So when I putty this all up, I'm hoping to be able to blend this whole section. So, and there's a little low spot. There's a little low spot down here. I overlaid the panel right there, but I did seal in between the two pieces. So it shouldn't rot for a very long time. And the only reason I overlaid this is I kind of jumped the gun a little bit, and I went against my better judgment, and I didn't make a template like I did back there. I just kind of by eye cut it out, and then I by eye made a panel, and I made the panel a little bigger, and I just trimmed it down until it fit pretty decent and welded it in. So when I got to the bottom, my cut wasn't very straight, and same on my patch panel, it wasn't very straight. So I just when I was messing around with the way I was adjusting it, I left the top of the panel a little longer. So what I did is I slid the panel down, and I just chopped the top of it off to match up with my seam that I already had from where I cut it out. So I don't know if that makes any sense. I might be just rambling, but it looks good. It's better than a big rot hole. So, and I don't know, it may last 5 years, it may last 1 year, it may last 25 years. I don't know. I might not own the car by the time all of this work is rotted out of it, and it can be somebody else's problem. But for right now, a little bit of filler, some blocking, primer paint, we'll be jamming, you know. So I'm very happy with the way that came out, and I think I showed the rocker, but I'll show it again. I'm very happy with how that came out. So there you have it. I bought a stud gun. I think I showed that. And I started stud gunning this out. And I don't know what the deal is with it, but it don't really want to pull out very well. And that's about as far I've been able to get it to pull out. But I think my problem is this stud gun kit comes with big studs and little studs, and I went right for the gold and started using the big ones. And this is actually, other than it's just really wavy, and a few little pinholes that need to be tacked up. But I think I'm going to try to stud gun some of the thinner ones in to try to get a better bite. I got to clean this up a little bit more. But if I can get this bottom part just to close up just a little bit so I can run a bead of weld in there and grind it smooth, this isn't that deep anymore. So I feel okay putting a little bit of Duraglass in it and topping it with some filler. And luckily it's in a spot. Sorry for moving the camera all wonky. I hope I got you guys with all that. But like I said, this is wavy, yes, but like I said, if I can get this bottom to come out just enough to fill that in with a weld, not to repeat myself, but I don't think I got you guys in frame. I want to just lay in a little bit of weld, grind it, some Duraglass, Marglass, whatever you want to call it, short hair, slick that in there just to give it a good base, and then top it with some regular body filler, block it out, and it'll be good. And that's what, you know, some guys won't leave this pitting. I don't know if you can see that. You know, that's could all be filled in with weld, but I'm not gonna do that because I'm gonna JB weld a lot of those seams, because like I said, I want to try it, see what happens. And you know, like I said, you guys might think that's cobby, hack job, whatever, but like I said, I already explained my theory behind it. I feel like it could be a, you know, almost think of it like seam sealer to get your imperfections that can be sanded, because most seam sealer, once it never really hardens truly. So you can't just go mopping seam sealer in there. The backside, if you could access it, yes, but the way that is, that's I guess you could say what my thought process is for them fine pinholes that you could chase and chase and chase and chase. Like I said, because I'm not no professional metal worker, I'm not a professional welder, I'm not nothing. I just know how to glue some metal together, and you know, you just follow some lines, you know, right there, you just line it all up, make sure it's as true as you can make it, and body filler will take care of the rest. And honestly, in the real world, that's the sad truth. I mean, think about all the TV shows and stuff you see. Them cars are right wadded full of Bondo because they want them slick and straight, as they say. So, that's that. So, I just have to, I have one little hole, and I don't know if you can see it. It's right here. And that's where the tub meets, the inner tub meets the outer tub and meets the floor of the car. And seam sealer goes right there. And to be honest with you, that's such a big hole. I could mess around with it and mess around with it, but it's a little thin and it liked blowing out, and I really kind of got tired of chasing it. So I think I got to seam seal this anyway, and I got to seam seal up through the back, up through here. I got a seam seal. But I mean, look at how solid that is. That's nice. That should hold up pretty good. But like I said, I got a seam seal up in here, and because I cheated a little bit, I just rebuilt partial of the inner structure. I didn't do the whole thing, probably like I should have. Like, this side's doubled. This side has an inner and an outer. But you want what? Shit gets trapped in between there and rots out. So my thought was, this ends right about here is where the double does, and then I just made a flat plate that follows this edge. I don't know if you can see it, follows this edge, And then this edge I welded to my piece of plate here, and then I just sculpted my body line. You know, I built and not that I went real crazy with the tack welds, but I built it all up decent enough to when I ground it down, it was still gonna be strong enough, but not grind too thin. But you could, you know, fake a body line, I guess you could say. And then once I slick all that, any little imperfections will all be straightened right out. So, excuse me, like I said, at the end of the day, a lot of body work is based off of give the optical illusion that it's straight and perfect. And a lot of time you can float and cheat and just give that illusion, you know. And that's the sad truth of it. As much as people don't want to recognize that because this wasn't done right or that wasn't done right, and I hate when people say, well, did you do it right? Well, did you do it right? For the most part, this is done as right as possibly can be done without buying a panel. So that's just my opinion. If you like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. But anyway, I'm gonna cut you there, and we'll pick up probably on that door jamb, and I'll talk with you later. Well, YouTube, I don't remember where we are, but well, as in this video, I don't remember where we are, but I'm going to touch base on this car again. Maybe might be repetitive, apologize for that in advance. I just don't remember where I am in the footage. Me being lazy, I'm not going back to review it to catch myself back up. It is what it is, but I have a problem, a serious problem. And well, in a week's time, because like I said, these videos are a little bit every day after work. I just make enough snippets to make a video, but let me show you what I got yesterday. Yeah, we got another one. We got another one. Those are the wheels off the yellow car. I tried to put the Jeep wheels on. I had kicking around, and they work on the back, but they don't work on the front. They hit the not calipers, but they hit the A-arms when you tighten the lug nuts up. But look, power bulge, power bulge, power bulge. We'll zoom in a little bit. See, we got another one. And then we have another one, and another one, and then in the Mopar shed we have another one. So that's a total of 4. But I'm not gonna go too crazy with this car. I'll give you just a quick little glimpse of it around the edges. But let's just say I got a deal on this car I couldn't refuse. So yeah, so within a week I've gotten this one. I believe I have to run the numbers. I have not got the paperwork yet from the guy. It's a guy I know and trust. I'm just waiting for him to dig title out to the car. But I'm pretty sure this one's a Roadrunner. The green car, that's a Satellite. But this may be, he wasn't sure, but this could be a Satellite as well. And somebody put the hood on it. But he's pretty sure that it was a B5 blue. I believe it's B5 blue. I get the paint codes mixed up, but it was I'm pretty sure like the petty blue color originally, which that might be B3. You guys let me know if I'm messing it up, but if it was B3, then it had the petty blue interior also, or it's B5 with the petty blue interior. I could care less. Remember the numbers for the paint code. I love Mopars, Mopar guy, but some of you guys get way too far dove in on it, and I could give two shits about it. I just like the cars, and I know what I know, and I don't know what I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, that rhymed a little bit, huh? Yeah, this is nothing in the foreseen future. It has perfect frame rails. You want to know while it's on a trailer, I'll try to give you guys a little glimpse. But there's that frame rail is in pretty nice shape. Same with this one. You're probably not gonna be able to see it, and I didn't think to grab a flashlight. But it does need floors. They're pinholey. But I mean, that frame rail's nicer than my yellow car's frame rail. But just as best you can see, it's surface rusty, but it's not rotten. And I'm torn. I don't know. I have to clean the car out more because, as you can see here, try to show you, but there's holes. So I'm torn between putting just pans in and saving what's left, or just do a whole floor pan. But it doesn't matter, because this, like I said, it's gonna be a while before this car even comes to the channel. I just wanted to show you guys. Sometimes the big man, he'll just point you in a certain direction. You just go with your gut feeling, and next thing you know, you got more parts and cars and stuff than you know what to do with. And like I said, this car, I paid not much more than what I paid for that green one. It's not as complete as the green one. It's not as complete as my yellow one. But between all three of them, honestly, if I told you the total that I have in all three cars combined, you would fall over. So, I don't know. You guys tell me what you think I paid for this one as well. But when the time comes, we'll do a more in-depth video with this one. And like I said, the green one's gonna get its own, even though I in this video have already kind of talked about the green one. So when the time comes, they'll get their own time to shine. But I just wanted to show you guys that another one followed me home. So we'll leave it at that, and we'll touch base on where we're at on the yellow one. So if all goes well today, I am going to start cutting on the driver's side quarter panel on this. I think I said that on the last one, but I only get 2 days off, and I spent all day yesterday getting that blue car. So I kind of didn't waste a day, but I wasted a day, and it sucks, but we'll just get reacquainted quick on this. But this is all done. Quarter, mint. Rocker, mint. I have to finish this, which I talked about, so I won't keep elaborating on it, but I just got to try to get that pulled out, which I'm gonna, as soon as I shut the camera off, that's my next project. Well, I'm gonna push the blue car off the trailer, and then I'm gonna knock this door jamb out, and then I'm going to come over here, and I'm gonna blindly cut this quarter panel out so I could see what's going on with the trunk pan extension, because I feel like I'm gonna have to piece some stuff in. So we'll see how that goes. It really, as much as I hate to say it, and that's why I ain't spit it out yet, but it really should have had a trunk pan extension or drop off, again, wherever you come from. It should have had one done on this side, and I don't have one, and I want to keep moving forward. I don't want to wait a week, because it'll put me another week behind, and I kind of, with life, I'm a little bit of a week behind where I'd like to be. So I was hoping right now I'd be primer and body work right now, but we're now onto the driver's side. So in due time, bear with me. Like I said, I get weekends sometimes, other than when my kid has things to do and the wife, whatever. And then if I'm feeling up to it after work. So some days after work, I don't even come out here. Some days after work, I don't get a chance to come out here because I'm busy doing life things, or I'm picking my daughter up from dance class, or whatever the case may be. Like I said, life. So what I'm gonna do is hopefully knock this rear quarter piece out here in the next couple hours for this Sunday, because today's Sunday. For this Sunday afternoon, maybe we can I can get something to happen there. And yeah, I think that's what we'll accomplish. But I noticed this edge is kind of punky. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to just put a piece in, make a 90-degree piece, kind of bend it a little bit, like I showed you guys how I bend. Well, I'll just show you. I didn't show you guys. Maybe I should take the time to show you how I kind of get this to curve. It's not perfect, but I do curve it. It's not a perfect science. If I had a shrinker and a stretcher, I most certainly could shrink the inside and stretch the outside. And what I mean is, this flange here, I would shrink, and this flange here, you stretch, and it puts a curve in it. If I'm right in my head on how the tool works, I've never used one. Won't be the first one to deny or try to make it out that I've used all types. I'm no fabricator. I've said that, and I always say that. I'm no professional, no fabricator. I just know how to do some stuff. Or I got a general understanding of the fundamentals. How about that? So, yeah. And at the end of the day, like DD Speed Shop always says, it's just metal. So if you mess it up, you cut it out and you redo it. It's just metal. Welder. And yeah, I mean, like the rocker. The rocker's not perfect, but it's better than what they had. I don't know. You tell me. Maybe I can get my my editor guy. I don't want to speak too much, but maybe I can get him. We'll put a picture of what it started out as, and we'll put that back in there. Or maybe I already showed you guys what. Yeah, I'm just talking out my ass. I think I already showed you guys what we started with and what we're at now. I kind of this video that I'm filming now has been stretched out a little bit longer than I normally do, so I kind of forgot what I may have or may have not shown thus far into the video, so I apologize. And yeah, but I do want to say that we're in the green, and I think I touched base on this piece because it's not filled in, and it's not thin, but it's thin. I'm either going to try chasing that and welding it shut, grinding it, or it's right where the floor meets the inner tub and it's factory seam welded or seam sealed. And I'm not going to lie to you, I might just seam seal the ever living piss out of it, because I got to seam seal this edge anyway, and it can have that hole seam sealed for all I care. Kinda, I just get tired of chasing holes sometimes, and I could do the brass trick that I showed you guys. I could bend a piece of brass, stick it in there. I could cut it out and put a little piece in there, but you wanna know what? I wanna drive this thing. I could spend the next year and a half nitpicking this body. So, you don't like that? I don't know what to tell you. It's not your car. Because we're gonna not do the same thing, but we're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to grind this. I made a plate already. We're going to overlay a plate. And then we're going to put a new wheel arch and a plate right here. I'll cut this out here, but you know, patch panels going there. And a little patch going to go right there. And probably try to tack that all up. Or JB weld the whole shut. Because I already explained my philosophy on that. Like I said, this car is a little bit of a, what's the right word? Test mule, we'll just say, with the JB weld thing. I really want to see how well that will hold up. How long it'll hold up. Is it right? No. Will it work? Oh yeah, it'll work better than just being raw Bondo on the backside of that hole. Because like I said, if I'm not mistaken, JB Weld does not draw moisture into it. And that's why I put it right here. And that's way harder than the Duraglass or Bondo would ever be. And now there's a great base there. I'm not trying to make a filler panel and trying to curve it. And what I'm getting at is by the time I cut that out, try to make it, there's going to be so much filler there to begin with afterward. What's the point? Let's just put a good base in there that it isn't going to allow moisture to get into the filler, and there still be a barrier, because I'm going to rough this up, and before it even gets body worked, this is all getting primed. It's all going to be bare steel, it's all going to be self-etched, and then it's all going to be high build. So I'll DA like a lot of this. I got to DA down more, but I'm going to try to get it to a point to where I can feather edge, work off of it, and start feather edging it back so that it's not all bare steel. I'd rather not rip it down to bare steel. I'd rather just knock it down to this base right here, either the lighter gray or this dark gray. We'll DA it right down to one of them two, or a mixture of it. You see how it's looking, but this is decently flat, but there's a little dent there. And I'll get some high build primer probably. What I'll do is rattle can it with high build, and then maybe I'll grab some Finish One high build to seal it all in with, and then we'll block the car out that way. But I know some of you guys will say should use the damn it, I forgot the name of it. I used it on my blue truck. I feel like a dummy right now not being able to remember the name of that primer. Now, when it comes to me, I'll tell you guys, but right now I'm drawing a blank. Got the self-etch, you got your sealer, you got your high build, and what in the hell is the name of that other one? Beats me. A lot of guys are using it nowadays, and I just, for whatever reason, I am drawing a blank on that primer name. Wow, I can't remember. I can't remember it. I may have to cheat and pause this and come back, because that's really bothers me that I can't remember the name of that primer. But anyway, I used it on my blue truck, and it was alright. I didn't see what the big hype was, other than there was more sanding involved. This stuff didn't do anything more different than what self-etching does. To me, personally, or just a good sealer primer. But you guys in the world love that style primer. I'm actually going to cut this right here, and I'm going to look up the name that I'm trying to think of, so I don't sound like an idiot that's just rambling on. Well, I am, but you guys seem to enjoy me talking a little bit. So let me cut, and I'll come back and I'll tell you the name of that primer, so I can stop rambling on about it. And we'll be right back. Well, folks, I'm a idiot. How do you not remember epoxy? That's what I was talking about. A lot of you guys, I don't know, Like the epoxy. I use the epoxy on my rockers and cab corners I did in that truck. It was alright, just seemed, I don't know, a little expensive for having to scuff it down. I don't know. Don't care for it. Not saying it don't work, because it's been holding up great. Just, I don't see what it does so much more superior over self-etching. Maybe I was taught wrong. I was just taught old school. You know, you put self-etch down, you can use, you self-etch it because it seals the metal. It etches into the metal, bites in. I don't know. Maybe I'm remembering wrong, but I'm pretty sure in my auto body class, we kind of got taught if you're not going to use sealer, you know, straight up sealer, which I know epoxy primer is a sealer, but your normal traditional just sealer primer that you would spray on, seal the metal. You know, like the cheater poor man was, you self-etch it. And then that locks itself into the bare steel, and then you could put like red oxide over it or just go straight high build. I mean, that was kind of, you know, a cheaper, I don't want to say that they exactly taught us that way, but I'd always pick my instructor's brain about different combinations, and that was kind of like something we agreed on, that you could get away with a good finish and self-etch, high build, do your body work, because you gotta sand the high build regardless. So you just mop your filler on with your after you start blocking, you find your lows and you do your body work, and then so on and so forth. But the biggest thing is having your layers between the metal and your filler. You don't put filler on bare steel, even though a lot of people say they were taught that way. Metal draws moisture. Moisture soaks through the metal, draws right into that filler. So if you give it that barrier, like I said, I'm no teacher, and I may be rambling on about nonsense that I could be completely wrong and taught wrong about, but that's my little spiel for today. So what we're gonna do next, like I said, is I'm gonna work on that door jamb and try to do that lower quarter panel today. But before I do that, I gotta go push the car off. Also, I know I just changed gears really fast there. I do that. I'm scatterbrained, sorry. But this car, I'm taking this rear end out so you guys know. I'm gonna put an 8 1/4 in this car, because the blue one is gonna be more of a hot rod car. So I'm not gonna say no more than that, other than this rear end is getting promoted to the blue one. So we'll put an 8 1/4 in it, which I got a 8 1/4 with a sure grip, and this needs a sure grip. This car's gotta have 2 fire tires, so I can afford to throw that other rear end in this car, and this one is getting put on the back burner because I want to put gears. I want to get gears in this car, and yeah, I'm still in my head debating on what gears to put in this car. And another thing, I'll give a little spoiler alert on too, is that is staying for the time being. We're going to jam it with an auto, but that's as far as I'm going to give you right now. So hopefully look forward to that. I hope I didn't spoil too much plans for the future. Just sorry for waving you around the garage. I was making sure I didn't trip over that big stupid thing. But yeah, so you guys know, rear getting swapped out. Automatic is going in the car for the time being, because for the chain of events that I want to try to do for this here future this summer and cruising, it'll just be faster to put the car together with an auto. So I made that decision about a week ago, and yeah. So I don't know. Also, let me know in the comments. We keep the car yellow. We paint it a different color. I got a color in mind. And I'll tell you, if you guys were wondering, see how this kind of neutralized the rust? I put some rust treatment on here. Kind of flashed off different color. That's because it did its thing. See up in here, it's kind of changed color. That's what, when you use some of that rust stuff, if it ain't making a change, then the stuff doesn't work. And then on top of that, I'll show you guys this again. But this stuff, let me get it so it's not glaring so bad on you. There, maybe that'll work a little better. But I tell you, this stuff is like, I don't know, $8 a can, $10 a can. But man, does it work great. This is this. All this flat black looking stuff is this. I don't know if you guys ever use it, but I highly suggest it. Because now I just take, what I'm gonna do with it is just take a red Scotch-Brite Scuffy, scuff this all down. Obviously in the firewall, and this stuff is gonna have to be sanded and treated and yada yada, but this little bit that we did here, I mean, you can see how nice it lays out. And well, you can even see how much self-leveling that it does. This is a run, and I can't remember if that's actually a run from putting the rust converter brush on stuff, or if that's actually a run from this and then it self-leveled it and kind of makes it look like a stain. But anyway, enough rambling. But let me know what you guys think for a color. But I'll tell you, I am not a yellow fan. So for me, yellow is out of the question. I think well, I'm not going to tell you what I think, but you guys let me know. And also, red. Red's off the table. I hate red. Don't like yellow, don't like orange, don't like red. So, any other color could be a possibility. But those three are my number one least favorites. So, yeah. I'll stop babbling, I'll get to work, and I'll see you guys when I get there. When I get there is hopefully the door jam's done. Like I said, I'll stop babbling, but hopefully we'll get that damn jam done and that quarter at least cut out and started today, and then get it hopefully done this week, so we can start getting better progress done. I know it's been slow and painful, but I appreciate you guys, and yeah. All right, folks. Terrible at everything. So, still haven't done a door jam. I had a weekend full of other things, but yeah, it's try to get you. It's not done. I tried to. Well, I didn't even mess with it, to be honest with you. I was too busy doing other things. But what I wanted to do is come on here. I guess backtrack on some of my words. I don't know. But instead of trying to edit text, I'm just going to correct. I thought long and hard about something. Scratch the idea about taking the 8 3/4 out of this. Scratch that. That's non-existent. I know. Scatterbrain. Scatter, scatter, scatter. I got 5,000 projects going on in my head at once. Not really, but that's how my brain works, is one thing, oh, it's shiny, I'm over here, and then, oh, it's shiny, and then I'm over here. So, yeah, bear with me. Not going to make a promise, but I will try to make a commitment to the next time we pick up. I got this door jamb at least pulled back together and welded and ready for body work. I'll try to make that commitment. and we'll get working on this. But like I said, the rear end idea, scratch that. It's staying with the car, and in a couple of videos I'll explain some stuff that I got going on and why I haven't got this side knocked out yet. So bear with me. Keep along for the ride. I appreciate you guys that watch, even though we're not a big channel and we don't have all the fancies, but I really do appreciate the little bit of support that I have been getting, and I really do. It's greatly appreciated. So let's just keep this boat afloat, keep it rocking, and we'll keep plugging away with the yellow car, and I hope you like what I think I'm gonna do in the future. So we'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one, and we'll see you on the next time. So we're out.